Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. It feels like ages since I filmed by myself. I think it's because my last video I put up was with David. I filmed twice with David recently and with Amy Jane Smith. Come on, little puss. Come on, you never show anyone your face anymore. Come on. You coming? No. Yay! Look! Let's show everyone your beautiful face. Oh, yes, you're gorgeous. You're a good girl, aren't you? Little Fluff. Off you go, little Fluff. Poof. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm currently reading. So I started doing this last month, a sort of monthly thing. Let me know if you'd like me to continue it, because I feel like it's interesting to have a look and see what you're reading at different stages at which you're reading it. And also it almost encourages me to finish books, because last month, in August currently reading, I think I was talking about, I definitely talked about a book called Girl Trouble, which was about the history of women throughout British history, and I sort of thought, oh well, I don't really want to mention that again in my currently reading, let's finish it. So it's also an encourager to get me to finish the books that I had started last time. So I've got 3 books to talk to you about. I like to have the older fiction on the go, non-fiction on the go, and an audiobook on the go. Audiobooks are normally non-fiction as well. I will start with the audiobook. So I'm listening to the audiobook of How Not to Be a Boy by Robert Webb. Robert Webb is a comedian and writer in the UK. He is half of a sort of duo called Mitchell and Webb, who wrote Peep Show, which is one of David's favourite programmes. It is really funny. And this is an account of him growing up in the UK, and his sort of relationship with gender, and how different people at different points in his life look at sort of like boyhood or like manliness and things like that. I found it really, really interesting. It's been really familiar to me. Although we don't live geographically in the same place in the UK, a lot of the things that I've heard him say or I've heard him talk about, and things that he's mentioned that his dad said or his granddad said and things like that, are definitely things that I've heard growing up, to do with like manning up, don't let people see you cry, oh big boys don't cry, etc, etc. And I feel like it's really touching. There was bits in it where I've been like really chuckling along, there's bits where I've been really sad. His mother dies, which is a heartbreaking thing to happen, and it happened when he was quite young. He was in the middle of taking his A-levels, and just hearing him sort of like cope with that whilst being sort of trying to toughen up and be a man, basically. So yeah, it's really interesting. He's just got to university, so things are going to sort of like go into more of an adult male side of things now, but really, really enjoying it. As you all know, I love things to do with gender. I really, really enjoy all sort of gender studies and things like that, so really enjoying this. And it is a sort of like, it's, as well as being very informative, it's also fun and also sad, so it's ticking all the boxes for me. I'm really, really enjoying it. I believe it's an Audible exclusive, so I think that only Audible have got Robert Webb reading it himself, which is really, like, I love books that are read by the author. That is just like ticking all the boxes. So yeah, really, really enjoying this. Think it's probably going to be a 5-star, just really enjoying it very much. So I will go on to the next non-fiction that I'm reading at the moment, and that is The Edible Atlas by Mina Holland. I'm going to have to lean forward a bit, and I was so comfy back there, by Mina Holland. This is a book that I got for Christmas last year from David's parents. I'd asked for it. I think I saw it, do you know what, when I first ever, it might not even have been last year, it might have been the year before, and I've been meaning to read it for a long, long time. I think I saw this. I feel like maybe Jen bought this for her boyfriend a long time ago. Am I right, Jen? Did you buy this for Mr. M? I think you might have done. And yeah, so it's basically like a sort of jaunt through 39 different cuisines. I'm in Europe at the moment. I'm still in France, which is lovely, and hearing about how, like the history of how that cuisine came to be that way, what sort of things they've got that are in the area that you're focusing on. It's got some fun sort of graphics and things like that as you go throughout, so it will show you, as she looks for the fun graphics and can't find bloody anything I'll look for. I'll have any graphic. Oh, so things like this. So for instance, so this has got a cuisine. This is like the places in the world and what things are ingredients that are natural, like that they use in their cuisines and things like that. So there's quite a few bits like that throughout, recipes, things like that. I really love anything to do with food, and this is really readable. It reads as well as being sort of like a cookbook with recipes in, which I'm not so sure I would use the recipes, but I'm really enjoying a sort of non-fiction account of things. Particularly, I've just read, my parents have got a place in France, and I've just read about the area around that, and I was like, yeah, I know those cows. Yeah, I know that. So I'm really, really enjoying this, and yeah, I feel like this is going to be one. Oh look, that's interesting, about the spice route, very exciting. So I feel like this is going to be one, probably like not a non-fiction, because that last non-fiction one I was talking about, Girl Trouble, I sort of read over a number of months, and I feel like this is probably one, I mean I only started it yesterday and I'm already 42 pages in, so it's probably going to be one I sort of sit and go along with. And then the last book that I'm reading at the moment is a novel, and it is Fell by Jen Ashworth. Really enjoying this, and it's also not what I thought it was going to be at all. So this is about a woman, Annette Clifford, who returns to her childhood home. You think with designs to do it up and sell it, or basically to get rid of it, and you're hearing you're sort of seeing Annette through the ghost of her mother and father, who are also telling you and looking down on themselves in their lives when they lived in the house themselves in 1963. So when Annette was 8 and her mother was seriously ill, so they've got this stranger that's come to stay with them, who potentially has healing powers, and it's all very like, does he not, and has he sort of like led them all on this has he led them all up the garden path, basically, because he doesn't have healing powers. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really atmospheric. This is the first Jen Ashworth I've ever read, and loving it. Love this cover as well. Really enjoying it, and finding it really intriguing, and I'm completely captivated by this stranger Tim who's come to stay with them, and I really couldn't tell you whether he has healing powers or not. Like, I really feel like the air of mystery around him and the way that you're told the story has been done perfectly. So really loving Fell, really enjoying it completely. So those are the 3 books that I'm reading at the moment. Let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know if you've read Fell or The Edible Atlas or How Not to Be a Boy. And yeah, I think that's it from me. Lovely little show of Minnie at the beginning. I'm going to have giant crumpets now. It's my mother's birthday today. I'm filming this on a Thursday, and we're going out for dinner tonight. So giant crumpets for lunch, bit of a read, out for dinner, bed. And I'll see you all again soon for another booktube video.